is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports Today from Muletown, USA. On the program, we'll be joined by Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders. Also, reaction to the regionals in the NCAA baseball tournament. Super regionals are set. We'll run through those. Reaction, SEC, a pretty good showing. Also, we've got the College World Series is set as well. We'll touch on that before that happens. And it is Top 5 Tuesday, Best Sports Tournaments. It's going to be a good one. Welcome in to Main Street Sports Today. Over to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome in. It is Tuesday, which means at some point today, I'm probably going to have tacos. Just those are the facts. Such is life.
Thank you, LeBron.
Well, it's been. I get a message every Tuesday from Cali Burrito that it's Taco Tuesday. So
do you do Taco Tuesdays? You do tacos on Tuesdays? Is that a staple in the Yao household?
More times than not. Charlie loves tacos, and so we will certainly eat tacos quite a bit.
Mo, what's your take on tacos?
Wow. Wasn't expecting that.
There you go. Hey, curveball
Question of the day.
I'm not a hard taco fan,
Okay.
first of all.
A hard shell or just
Yeah.
You're like the soft shell?
Yeah, soft shell
I do
tacos.
too.
And crabs.
Flour?
Yes, please.
Flour or corn?
Preferably flour.
Yeah.
I'm a corn guy. I want street tacos.
Corn if it's authentic.
Yep.
Corn.
Street tacos, authentic
Yeah.
corn tortillas. Yeah. I'm in for that.
Okay.
But yeah.
I could do that.
Other than that, I'm good.
He's kind of
Soft
taking
shell
it. He's
and
kind of take it or leave it.
Tacos and crabs, he said.
Yeah. I'm not going to go out of my way searching for tacos necessarily, but I mean,
If you go to the Mexican joint, you're probably getting fajitas or
if I'm going to the Mexican joint, I'm getting
chicken and cheese, pollo bandito.
what is it? I forget. I see it in the menu. I know what it is. It's kind of the fried burrito, basically.
Oh, a chimichanga.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my go-to when I go Mexican. Ideally shrimp, but
So
yeah.
he doesn't like hard shell tacos, but he'll take a soft shell fried, which
Yeah. What
makes it a little crispy,
and
but
listen,
not too crispy.
Exactly.
That's
And
the thing.
there is a difference
Because I'm a
between
diva.
frying the soft shell
Oh yeah, sure.
kind of to order as opposed to a prefab
Oh, those
soft shell taco.
the hard shell tacos
Yeah.
that you get at the store,
prefab.
they're not good.
Yeah, like a prefab home, it's a prefab taco.
It's not good.
No.
I don't know how anybody eats hard shell tacos.
Well, I mean, they scrape the roof of your mouth. And
it's
Yeah.
just a lot, and the crumbs get everywhere.
Yeah. It
so-
doesn't hold together.
It's not worth it.
No. No. Yeah.
And if you like when you go to Taco Bell, if you get the hard shell taco, the meat typically will make it like
soggy.
gooey and soggy at the bottom, and you're like, this just isn't good.
Did y'all see over the weekend? I think it was. They have run out of Mexican
Oh, yeah.
pizza.
Oh, really?
7 million.
At Taco Bell?
Yes. Not long after bringing them back.
That's called good marketing.
Yes.
They only took them away so they could bring them back. Same thing they did with
How long were they gone?
probably
It's a good while,
6
wasn't it?
months or so.
Is it that
if
long?
Not more.
It's like the McRib.
Exactly.
No, nothing's like the McRib.
Well, I mean, in terms of pulling it off the menu, making it available only at certain times of the year.
Oh, you should
if-
pull it off the menu and
Forever.
never make
Yeah,
it.
no, I'm not arguing that, but
But I mean, when you've got Dolly Parton going on Facebook and celebrating the return of the Mexican pizza, I mean, you've done something right.
mm,
make your own Mexican pizzas at home. It's not difficult.
It's not hard.
I mean, it's really, really simple.
Listen to this guy.
I mean, if you got
We got hamburgers at home.
we got McDonald's at home.
Yeah.
Listen, I had
Dude,
McDonald's at home today.
Straight off Eddie Murphy, huh?
I got close to a quarter pounder. It may be like an eighth of a pound, and it's maybe a sixth of a pound. It's close.
Speaking of, I'm still trying to figure out what's up with that freezer, Mo. So we need to talk.
Oh yeah. We also need to check and see how much of that is still available.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yes,
So anyway,
okay.
we got a lot going on today. It's going to be a great show. Looking forward to it. We got a short rundown today, so we might as well send it back to JP because it's less than a page, Mo. And I put everything in here that I could possibly find that made sense. So here we go. We go back to JP for today's rundown.
This is the Rundown. Let's do it.
This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated. Take a breath. All right. Major League Baseball last night in 7 innings, mind you. Reds over the Diamondbacks 7-0. Weather doing this. This was no doubleheader. 7 innings. Major League Baseball. It happens sometimes because you just
need 5.
Just need 5. Yeah,
just need 5.
Complete 5, and you've got enough for a game. NHL last night, the Colorado Avalanche punched their ticket to the NHL Stanley Cup Final. No S, by the way.
Final.
No S.
1.
That's right. Hockey is very particular about certain things.
They're accurate. Go figure.
That's the Canadian in them. They,
Eh?
So 6-5, the final in OT. So Colorado sweeps out the Liars, a.k.a. the Edmonton Oilers.
That's right.
So, as a Preds fan losing to the Avs, I guess that makes you feel better, right?
You're like, if you're going to lose,
through
lose
everybody.
to the champ.
It should.
I agree.
If you're going to lose, lose to the champ.
That's right. Yeah, it makes you feel better. All right, NCAA Regional, a jam-packed weekend and plenty on Monday as there was a lot of tickets to be punched yesterday. Auburn, a holdover from the night before, went without losing as they defeated UCLA 11-4. They advanced to the Super Regional. Louisville, after getting stomped by Michigan in the Region Final 1, came back and defeated them 11-9 yesterday. Florida falls to Oklahoma after a lengthy delay. Was that delay in the first game or the second?
Second game, but they had to get beat twice and did.
Yeah, Oklahoma 5-4. The Sooners.
Most folks in college baseball were calling that one, actually.
Oklahoma to beat Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate that Florida lost. It breaks my little heart in tiny little pieces.
Your sympathy is underwhelming.
And hey, maybe a budding potential conference rival.
Hey,
Look back to this.
Eventually.
In baseball. There you go.
One day.
East Carolina over Coastal 13-4. They advance. Southern Miss holds off LSU 8-7. And Southern Miss, an 11 seed, I believe, a national seed. They move on as they were hosting that one. Oregon State survives against Vanderbilt in a thriller in Corvallis, 7-6 the final there. Vanderbilt season comes to a close, so Oregon State will host Auburn in their Super Regional. Ole Miss throttling Arizona 22-6 down in Coral Gables. Miami not even making the finals. So Ole Miss advances. North Carolina defeats VCU 7-3. The Tar Heels advance. UConn at Maryland, they get the win as they advance 11-8, the final there.
Some controversy, but
okay. Arkansas, and maybe one of the more exciting regionals, the Stillwater Regional, they defeat Oklahoma State 7-3, and so Arkansas advances. And Stanford, a quiet 2 seed, by the way. I didn't realize, so I was doing a little research on them. The 2 seed. Nationally, they defeat Texas State, had to beat them twice, and do so 4-3 the final there in the final. So Auburn, Louisville, Oklahoma, East Carolina, Southern Miss, Oregon State, Ole Miss, North Carolina, UConn, Arkansas, Stanford all move on to Supers. Women's College World Series semifinals, UCLA over Oklahoma 7-3. Oklahoma big in game 2, 15-0. A couple of home runs by, is it Allo?
Jocelyn Allo.
Yep. And then Texas with a pair of wins over OK State, 5-0, 6-5. So it will be.
Did you see how they get from 3 to 6 though in that game? Single, runners on first and second, single to right field. Girl mishandles it, so the girl from second ends up scoring from second. Then they cut the throw off from right field instead of throwing it home, and she throws it trying to get the runner going back to second. Goes into center field all the way to the left center fence. All 3 runs score, 6-5 ball game.
Hello. All right. Today's schedule, we've got American Legion Baseball post-19 seniors at 6 o'clock at Columbia State hosting the Throwbacks. All right, Mo. The Throwbacks are whom?
They are a summer league team.
Okay, so are they an American Legion?
They are not a Legion
okay.
team. No.
Not a Legion team. All right. There you go. Hey, it's baseball. Should be, hopefully the weather will hold off. 6 o'clock Columbia State if you want to go catch them post-19 seniors today. Major League Baseball, the Reds hosting the D-backs at 5:40. The Cubs are in Baltimore, taking on the Orioles, 6:05. Cardinals at the Rays, 6:10. And the Bravos hosting the Oakland Athletics, 6:20, down in Atlanta tonight. The Sounds are back home. They're taking on Norfolk at 7:05. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 4, Rangers and the Lightning at 7 o'clock on ESPN. The Rangers lead that best-of-7 series 2-1. WNBA, Minnesota at New York at 7, and Atlanta at Seattle at 9 o'clock. Doubleheader on CBS Sports Network. That is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you. Oh, come on. You can play that. There we go. Jim Davis, GrowLiveGive.com.
Yeah, exactly. So our top story, our opening tee, Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson have joined the LIV Saudi Golf Tour. 2 pretty big names. And can't say I blame them. Look, there's some folks out there giving you some coach speak as to why they may be joining this, but don't let anybody fool you. The bottom line is it's all about the Benjamins, baby. And if you think it's about anything else, you're crazy.
Follow the money. When in doubt.
I mean, it ain't anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to do it for the opening segment. Let's come back and talk a little more baseball. We got quite a bit of it in the rundown, but there's plenty to talk about, including a little local connection. So come back with us on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports Day presented by Tennessee Bone and Joint. So I went looking for the throwbacks on Twitter and found them at Broadway Backs, and they are 10-1 on the season after a June 5th tournament.
Doesn't necessarily bode well for post-19 in their season opener this evening.
Yeah, the Broadway Backs have been playing for a while. They've played a pretty tough schedule to this point, but they were wearing the old White Sox style uniform with the white jersey, 2 crimson/red-ish tint stripes with the navy stripe in the middle, and instead of SOX across the front, it's BAX, Backs. Well, they also have numbers on the front of their pants, which I think we did that when I was in Little League once.
Well, I mean, again, that's when the White Sox wore those uniforms. That's where they put the numbers, because I guess they didn't want to disturb that beautiful socks/backs.
Well, not a lot of teams put numbers on the front in Major League Baseball. I mean, the Dodgers do, and that's about it. Cubs do. Cubs do, Dodgers do. I don't know of anyone else.
And it's not necessarily the issue at the major league sport issue level, or even the collegiate level, that we run into at the high school level.
Yeah, it's a much bigger problem for pictures if you don't have a number on the front. But so I tweeted them, and I was like, talk to us when you wear shorts. To which they replied, "Don't give us any ideas." So I'm digging the throwbacks here. They've got options. I mean, throwbacks you can do a lot with throwbacks. So anyway, wanted to kind of give a shout out to Gage Gilliam, the Spring Hill graduate who left just before I got here, and I guess was the leader of that AA state championship team.
Leader might be a bit much. He was a junior on that team. Okay. Zach King was a senior.
Gotcha. Okay.
He and
Zach King. Well,
they were pretty much 1 and 1A, and Bryson Thomas was also on that team. I did not see them the year they won the state championship. I got here the following year when Gage and Bryson were seniors, and I think they extended the winning streak up to 44, 46 before they lost, I think, to CPA. That was a district game at that time, and returned to the state tournament, and I think they finished in the Final Four before they were eliminated. But couple of great teams that year. Again, 16 was before I got to Columbia that fall, and then that 17 team was a lot of fun to watch. But Gage, fantastic story, did not get a whole lot of 4-year interest coming out of Spring Hill for whatever reason, especially looking back. Bet on himself, went to Walter State for a year, winds up at North Carolina, and this weekend he pitched in 4 of the Tar Heels' 5 games coming out of the bullpen. 6 2/3 innings total, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned.
But yesterday was
3 walks and 5 strikeouts. But yesterday in the clincher against Virginia Commonwealth, or VCU,
he got the dub.
Where and North Carolina in a situation where they had to win twice because they lost on Saturday to VCU. So they won twice on Sunday, knocked out Georgia. Gage went 1 1/3, gave up 2 hits, a run, and struck out 1 in that one. And then again in the clincher, 4 1/3, shutout innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 4 Ks, and earned the decision as North Carolina won that one 7-3. So huge performance for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic job. So congrats to Gage and the Tar Heels. We'll be, semi de facto Tar Heels fans, because I certainly don't want to see Arkansas in Omaha. So much, because Omaha is annoying. It really is. It's it's one of the more annoying things in college baseball. And maybe it's just because Tennessee and
it's interesting what annoys you. I mean, I kind of like the term. I certainly don't have a problem with it, but I'm not as invested in other teams as you might be. So
well, I'd be cool with it if it was a headline, but I don't know that I love it as a nickname.
Well, when you've been as much as they've been,
I guess, and
when you've been as much as they've been, and not to bring it home, you mean?
That's unfortunate for them too. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm kind of rooting for North Carolina just for that reason. Although I would like to play Arkansas at least once. We didn't get a chance to play them at all this year. Tennessee, I mean,
Yep.
And that's unfortunate. So
I'm really interested in another super this weekend besides Tennessee Notre Dame. As we mentioned, Ole Miss knocked off Arizona in Coral Gables, and Southern Miss won its regional. So it'll be the Rebels and the Golden Eagles in Hattiesburg.
Battle of Mississippi.
And the defending national champion, all they can do is sit and watch, and that's all they've been doing for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Since they didn't make the conference tournament.
I'll tell you.
How do Mississippi State fans feel right now with Southern Miss and Ole Miss playing in a super regional?
For a chance to go to Omaha. That's, the thing about Southern Miss, this is their ideal scenario. You just beat LSU, who is 2 hours from your campus.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to take on Ole Miss, who's 2.5 hours, maybe 3. It's close.
Closer to 3,
It's close.
I'm thinking.
But you are literally proving your worth at the mid-major level. And earning a national seed, obviously that's huge. But even if you earn a national seed and you don't get to Omaha, or you lose to an LSU or an Ole Miss, and people are like, well, that's great. You played inferior competition all year, whatever. But you just beat a team that you're directly recruiting against. And now you get another team that you're directly recruiting against, both out of the Southeastern Conference. Mm-hmm. And you get a chance to go to Omaha with that on your resume.
Chance to hang some pelts on the wall.
That's serious.
To some degree. Yep. And I mean, if they can get to Omaha with that kind of momentum,
absolutely.
Anything can
it'd be hard to touch them. I mean, they certainly,
and that does it.
Broke the spirit of MTSU in that final series.
Yeah, and again, I mean, as you look at
and Grand Canyon
Valverde, Julio Urias,
how the postseason is constructed.
What a reach from Kasevich at short, and he does it again.
In this best of 3 super
even
regional
in a
situation,
13-run game, he does not let up.
Than they were this past weekend.
Swing
as
a hard
will
hit
be
line
all
drive
of
to
these
left field,
teams,
Tappan coming on and makes
you only got to
a
cover
diving
3.
catch
Only
from
got to cover 3 games.
Fastball rope towards left field, Tappan coming on
this
into a dive, and he did it again.
Really
another outstanding catch.
For teams who don't really have
Fly
to
ball,
have
center field, Bradfield Jr. going back at the
again,
warning track.
11 points out,
Oh,
so
what a
there's that.
catch!
But
Enrique Bradfield Jr.
You're
Welcome to
here
Sports Center.
At the mid-major level, you can get through a 3-game series.
Well, I mean, you're used to it. You've done it every weekend, pretty much throughout the year in your conference.
They can go. They're going to go.
Down to this is the
this one caught on the warning track. Great grab by Fabian as he crashed into the wall.
Based
and he
on
goes
everything
down.
that leads up to the World Series and then the
Langford
World Series,
comes
you put a
over.
random 3-game set in
Nichols
here.
delivers the 2-1.
It's a little weird.
I don't know how else you would do it.
Off the backside for
just
one.
saying,
Over the first in time for the double play.
For this to
Put
be
a star
what
by
your
that when
season
McClary
rides
getting it
on
done
to get
from his
to the
backside.
pinnacle of the sport.
What a second game he's having here in
And,
Coral Gables.
A team like Southern
one
Miss
step at a time.
Payoff pitch.
doesn't have as much of an advantage as they may have against an Ole
Patelli,
Miss.
the shortstop.
But again, I guess
Well,
it's
that's a
evened
one,
out.
Jim, if I've
At
ever
this point,
seen
you're down
one,
to 16
an
teams. They're
immaculate
everybody's.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
By the time you've gotten this far, and by the time you've survived this past weekend,
Robs the home run.
If you want, while you guys are thinking about that, I've got the brackets up, and I can run through the schedule real quick just so people will know. Notre Dame, Tennessee starts Friday at 6 p.m.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com.
First of
the
all,
home of college sports.
I like how he said, "If you guys want me to," and then just went right into it.
yeah.
We didn't even give us a chance. to
Six
say
straight
yes or
balls.
no.
This one
He was
driven
just
to the
like, "If
gap
y'all want
and
to,
doesn't
here
have
we go."
enough. It does.
Texas,
And there's number 20.
passive aggressive
Tim
over there in the corner.
Elko leaves the ballpark.
Texas at East Carolina.
Rebels strike first, and it's
begins
2-0.
Friday at noon on the Deuce. Louisville is
And the
at
captain
Texas
delivers again.
A&M. That's a 12-5 matchup. 8:30 Friday night on ESPNU.
Don't let the
And then
refs
final
get hot, and
Friday,
that's
a
exactly
super regional
what they're
start,
doing
3
in South
p.m.
Florida this
Oklahoma
weekend.
At Virginia
And similar
Tech.
swing
And then this
to what we
Saturday,
saw last
Sunday,
night on the
Monday.
double
Yes,
that he
go ahead.
laced into
Tech
right
is
center field. The one yesterday was,
Tech is
hit it
the
on a
host.
low line drive. And as we see
They
right
are
here,
the 4
he
seed.
elevates the same pitch he got and hits it out of the
Tech is
park.
the 4 seed.
And one of the most impressive parts about this swing right here,
Gordon's all-time record.
And then Saturday
pitch.
starts
Smoked.
10:30 out
Left
west.
field.
Number
Will that
2
ball
Stanford
carry?
hosting
Will it
UConn.
go? Yes,
That's
it
on
will.
ESPN2. Number 10 North Carolina hosting Arkansas.
43 career
11
home
a.m.
runs, the second
on ESPN.
here this evening. And the Rebels expand their
Saturday
lead.
afternoon, it is Southern Miss, as you guys talked about, the 11 seed hosting
And
Ole
another
Miss
clutch
at
hit
4
for the
p.m. on
captain.
ESPNU, and then Auburn out in Corvallis to take on the number 3 seed.
Boy, the
Oregon
magic
State.
happens
Auburn, the
every
14
time
seed, so
Elko,
the
it
pair of
seems like,
seeded
steps
teams
in the
there.
batter's box.
And that one, that is the
and we
final
saw him his
one,
first at hit a
also
fastball
on
for a home
Saturday
run. And
night
right
at
here we see a
10:30 on
3-2
ESPN.
changeup that he sits back on
Chris
and
pointed
hits a
out
moonshot out to
off
left
air
center
that
field.
there's
I
at
mean, that
least
ball
one
was in the
national
air
seed
forever.
in each of the super
It was.
regionals.
We
How
lost it here for a
many
second.
In the next inning.
got through?
There are, of the 4 on
Another
Saturday,
charge.
because that's what I'm looking
Deep
at,
right
there
field,
are just 4
and it's
national,
gone!
excuse me, there are 5
For
national
the first
seeds.
time in his career, Tim Elko goes yard
Saturday.
3 times in a game.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Wow.
more starting on Friday. So 11, yep.
I mean, how impressive
11 of the
has
6
Tim Elko been?
Which of these 8 series do you feel like
Living
is the
his
most
best
intriguing?
life.
I'm a little intrigued by Texas at East Carolina.
And look at the Ole Miss dugout, just going crazy, absolutely crazy for the team
9-8, yep.
captain.
Texas
Tim Elko.
isn't used to traveling this
Let's take a
time
look
of
at this
year.
right here.
It's true.
A fastball down and away and just
And
absolutely
East
hammers his
Carolina
ball.
is, I think they're probably better than a lot of people realize. Just the average.
The road to national
college
championships
baseball
runs
fan.
through
you don't think-
NCAA.com. It's
well,
never been easier to get the
average college
content
baseball
you
fans don't
want
think
all in
East
one
Carolina
place.
baseball, but anybody who
NCAA.com, the
really has
home
ever
of
paid
college
attention,
sports.
speaking of
Gilmore for a long time. 2-2 pitch. Lifted into short center field, coming on his whirl, and he lays out and makes a great catch for the second out. Bryson Whirl has done it with the bat, and now doing it with the glove here in Game 7.
Of those 3, he has the best chance to get to him.
Just a beautiful catch.
Arkansas, Ole Miss, or Auburn.
Here's the 1-2 pitch.
That's a
Down the line.
because you
Hit
feel
well.
like
That's in there for a hit. It's going to roll into the corner. Agnos around third. He's going to try to score. The throw will be late. And it's a run-scoring triple for Bryson. Great at bat by Whirl. Battled Reed Van Scooter. Saw several pitches. And then just doesn't try to do too much. Goes the opposite way. Dumps it in the corner. And scores Agnos from first base. That is his 3rd triple of the season. And his first hit in this regional that didn't clear the fence. The home plate umpire
That is, I mean,
who threw him out. And And he apologized. As this one is lifted to center, it's going to be a tough play. Are you kidding? He does it again. Bryson Work.
They got beat like 20-5 or something to Michigan in the first regional final.
Or an RBI triple, I should say.
But I mean, I'm just saying,
and look out!
You look at some of these games, like, okay.
You're right. Green light. Good night.
And then you look at
3-0 fastball. Goodbye home run.
They just dominated that region. So
and it's 13-2.
It's very possible that half the field could be SEC.
You just had to turn him loose. He's been swinging it so good, carrying the team on offense.
The best of any SEC team.
Absolutely.
I mean, Tennessee did sweep, but they, it was
the road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. It's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Georgia Tech game to close. I'm sorry, not to open, because they opened against Alabama State, but that Campbell game on Saturday.
The second round and that championship game were not easy wins.
This one deep to
Auburn dominated. And Oregon State struggled. I mean, they had to win enough necessary game to get there, and had to hang on. Now again, Vanderbilt very good, but Vanderbilt also lost in the first round and had to work their way through the losers bracket to get to that, and they still forced the game 7 and nearly won it. I think you're right. I don't think Oregon State's all that.
Yeah, I would put Auburn as maybe. If we're putting odds on it, I mean, Tennessee obviously it's hard to bet against the #1 team. But I think Auburn's playing the best as a team right now coming out of the regionals. I think Auburn, I would put them, if we're doing a power ranking on the remaining SEC teams, I would definitely put Auburn 1
runs through
and Tennessee probably 2.
It's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place.
Pretty strong. They did lose a game,
the home of college sports.
This thing's not over yet.
Man, what a story Texas A&M.
We've already been here for a while.
Let's keep
3 hours and 45 minutes.
So, let's talk a little bit more baseball on the other side. We'll talk some softball as well, so stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in on this June 7th edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mo, today is a national holiday for you. Yeah. It's Prince's birthday?
Oh. Yeah.
It might as well be.
Would have been 64 today.
You cruising down the street, the 6'4".
And Mo ain't got no purple on.
Dang. Hey.
It's close.
I don't have a whole lot of purple, to
Really?
be honest,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was an oversight on my part. I'll take the heat for that one, but yeah.
It's all good.
I think I was more observant of the date of his passing than his birthday, really.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Well, I will tell you, if you've never looked into the story of Prince and his first record deal and everything that he did to gain and keep creative control even after his first record tanked, he went so far over budget. They gave him a budget, JP, for like 3 records, and he went over budget with the first one, and then it sucked. The sales sucked. Everything about it just tanked. But then he was like, hey, let's make another one. And then, of course, that was the record that made Prince.
Yeah, trust the process.
And
trust the process.
Trust the process. That's where Nick Saban got it.
Is that right?
Nick Saban got it from Prince.
Yeah.
It's a really great story, and obviously I'm dumbing it down to very, very little, but pretty impressive. JP, Chuck Yao says we're getting some sort of NCAA play-by-play.
Yeah, there's you did for a small second. Mm-hmm.
So, anyway,
oh, it must have.
Yeah, he was going through
the screen, game from
the screen that I'm sharing.
Yeah,
there is a video, and it is one of those that did not automatically mute. Yeah, the volume was so when I piped.
Hate when that happens.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, when I piped up to go to the commercial, I heard a little.
I thought I heard
got
something.
To be kidding me.
Yeah.
Well,
is that what he?
I tell you what, CBSSports.com is bad about it.
They are very bad about it.
Because I've clicked on there a couple of times for some background info for something that we're talking about, and all of a sudden you're getting audio from somewhere.
Hit in the face.
Yeah.
So,
like their website.
Yeah.
Hate that.
Mm-hmm.
What you may have been hearing was from that Maryland UConn game last night, top of the 8th inning. They're down, Maryland down 10-8, and swinging bunt basically goes down the first base line, and the runner, by the way, flying, absolute wheels on this kid, is running in fair territory, and the pitcher makes a play on the ball, tries to throw the ball over the head of the runner, which a better play would have been for the first baseman to have been on the outside of the bag.
A better play would have been for the pitcher to throw the ball at the runner.
Well,
and
that
force that call.
But the first baseman is standing on top of the bag, and the Maryland runner runs over him. And at that point, the runner is called out for interference, and the runner who scored to make it 10-9 was sent back to third base. Now,
and Twitter exploded.
Twitter did explode. I will say this. I don't love the fact that the guy had to go back to third base, but it's part of the rule.
Once the contact was made, the play is dead.
Right. I don't know at what point he scored, but either way, they weren't making a play at home. To me, I don't know why you have. I mean, I know why you have to send him back because it's part of the rule. I just think it's it's not a great part of it. I think it should be a judgment call on the part of the officials if the runner is not being played on, then I think you just kind of let that go. Nonetheless, called out, and they end up losing 11-8. That made the second out in the inning and took a run off the board. That's tough. But the fact is that the umpires made the correct call. You cannot run in fair territory. There's an entire running lane for the runner. Go figure.
Now, the running lane is in foul territory.
Correct.
First base is in fair territory.
Correct.
So, I mean, every once in a while on a play like that, you're going to have this situation unless and until the safety bag is installed at first base. As you see at various age levels in softball, I guess. I don't know that I've ever seen it in baseball. But it's not often that those plays take place, but when they do, it seems like they're pretty pivotal.
And this one was rough. I mean, first baseman got trucked. And
the runner wasn't real healthy after the collision either. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, it was an unfortunate play.
Hmm?
But again, had he been in the runner's lane, it would have been obstruction, and he would have gone to second potentially.
And the run would have
scored. So you'd had one out, runner in scoring position, tying run, by the way, in scoring position. Yep. And instead of choosing to run in the runner's lane, as aptly named, I believe.
Yeah. This is for you. Run here.
Bill Marbert is not just wasting chalk. He ain't just out there wasting chalk to waste it.
That extra line is for a reason.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I mean, I did have someone who said, I mentioned it on Twitter and said, look, you can't be mad at officials for applying the rule. He said the rule is written to protect the throw. There was a lane to throw. Yes, he may have put a foot on the outside, but it was not impacting the play. It's a no call.
It's definitely not a no call, not with that kind of contact. I mean,
well, this is also a coach who hates officials in all facets.
And that's unfortunate.
But the thing is that the way the throw was made to the inside of the bag. So if you watch the throw, instead of, again, because a lot of times on drop third strikes, you'll hear catchers say inside, or outside, outside. It's always about, what's the easiest way for me to get the throw to you. The catcher should have been saying inside, or outside, outside. And he may have been, I don't know, I couldn't hear it. But that's where you need a field general to let your guys know what's going on. It's tough, but it was a great call. And it's unfortunate for Maryland.
I'm trying to find the tweet that brought that play to my attention because I was not watching Maryland UConn, just full disclosure. But it was
why not?
Like I said, I was not watching Maryland UConn.
I cannot believe
baseball.
You would not.
Yeah, go figure, huh? I think it was a tweet from yesterday's guest, Chris Lee. Actually.
Okay.
And
yeah, I mean, I saw it from Occupy Left Field, which is a Texas baseball Twitter account. But man, I just that they were. How in the world is this guy out?
I'm sorry, it wasn't from Chris Lee. It was from Chris Yao.
It was me.
Yeah, look, y'all can hate on umpires all you want. They suck sometimes. Well, but when they're applying rules as written, it's not on them. And I mean, umpires get enough wrong without dumping on them for actually making a call that's based on a rule. It doesn't get much easier than that call.
No, it really doesn't. That was, I mean, as the rule is written, it's absolutely the right call. And so it was easy for me. But Anyway, I don't hate on umpires all you want. They do stink sometimes, and we do.
They stink a lot of times,
and they stink a lot. But
they didn't stink.
But this is not one of those times.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I told you earlier, Texas defeated Oklahoma State in the Women's College World Series, Mo, and did so in wild fashion. Again, single to right field, and the girl just misplays it. It and allows the fourth run to score for Texas, throws it in, pitcher cuts it off, and as we've seen so many times, pitchers struggling to throw overhand, throws the ball into left center field, rolls all the way to the fence. All 3 runs scored. They're up 6-5, and that ends up being the final score. Oklahoma State can't make it an all-Oklahoma final in Oklahoma City. So you still get the Red River rivalry.
Yeah, instead of Bedlam, you get the Red River.
And a all-SEC final. Just means more, baby.
Yeah. Oklahoma getting there in decisive fashion after losing to UCLA in their first game 7-3, coming back and downing the Bruins with the largest win in WCWS history, 15-0.
Yeah, they acted like they were playing, Cal Poly or something. I mean, that was an absolute drubbing.
I mean, UCLA definitely got every bit of the Sooners' attention in that second game.
Yeah, the 7-3 win and Oklahoma. I bet Patty was just absolute bonkers between those 2 games.
I bet she wasn't. I bet the players.
She may not have had been.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You've got great leaders on that team, Jocelyn Allo, obviously, and I don't see any way that Oklahoma doesn't walk away with this thing.
I think Texas wins a game.
How do you feel if you're Arkansas? You mean, why did we have to play this team in the Supers? This is the team we had to play? Yep. Are you kidding me?
Of all the teams.
We got screwed. Nuts and bolts.
Right. Yeah. I think it's going to be a fun series to keep an eye on, but I think ultimately Oklahoma wins it, but I'll not be surprised if it goes 3 games.
I'm looking forward to it. I wish we'd have been able to have Marion Angus Combs on today. We were unfortunately unable to get her. She was unavailable, so we're not versed enough to talk intelligently about the Women's College World Series Championship Series that includes 2 teams that we don't watch a whole lot of. But I can tell you, we said it from the beginning, this is Oklahoma's tournament to lose. So they'll get their chance to win or lose right now. All right, let's take a quick break, JP, and come back. We'll talk a little Braves. We'll talk to Chip Walters, and we'll get to our top 5 all in the second half. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this.
The city famous for its music is quiet now, but it's about to be overwhelmed by the symphony of speed. Nashville Superspeedway will be rocking from the pit to the grandstand. June 24th and 26th, the Ally 400 NASCAR Cup Series race weekend brings a mix of incredible racing and live entertainment. Tickets are going fast, so visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com today and join the full throttle fun.
Well. I guess we're taking a halftime break. I wasn't ready for that. Outback, speaking of Jocelyn Allo, has added 8 college baseball and softball stars to its teammates roster. I couldn't get out of the accent from mates to Rasta, so I just had to go with it. Jocelyn Allo and Jada Coleman Washington's Bailey Klingler and Kelly Lynch. Tennessee baseball players Jordan Beck and Ben Joyce have signed on to Outback, with Florida's Hunter Barco and Colby Halter.
I'm sure that there will be a little consternation about Jordan Beck, given his
I think it's going to
salute to Georgia Tech the other night.
I think it's actually, if you give that salute to your server, then you get 10% off. Or 10% more. I can't remember. Outback plans to release a limited edition of 8,000 NFTs, which will be available for free. So you just go download the NFT, and then they're redeemable across all restaurants for rewards. That will be announced on National Onion Day, which is June 27th, in honor of the Bloomin' Onion.
National Onion Day.
I didn't know that was a thing. Is it National Onion Day here
or in Australia?
Or in Australia? I don't know.
We're going to have to, and I'm going to work on this, because there is a national day. In my days of radio, there is a national day
every day
for everything. So there's something happening every day. So
Facebook's planner tells you.
Yeah.
The post planner, it tells you at the top. Today is National VCR Day.
I'll work on that, and we'll work it into something every VCR Day.
That explains a lot.
I guess
from a earlier conversation.
I mean,
that does.
NationalToday.com is a national day calendar, and it has a month-by-month breakdown. Apparently, there are 372 holidays in June, by the way.
Supply Chain Professionals Day today. It's World Caring Day.
It's Daniel Boone Day.
Hey, look at there.
Oh.
All this today?
Prince's birthday. So I know just how I'm going to celebrate National Chocolate Ice Cream Day, actually. Yeah.
I think I'm going to celebrate with you a little bit later.
All right. Come on.
All right, folks. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, it's second half, so stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990
or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, we've survived to the second half so far here on Main Street Sports today. As coming up, we'll be joined by Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders. So he is standing by in just a moment. Also, this day in Braves history, as always, our daily reports throughout the Major League Baseball season. And it's Top 5 Tuesday, Best Sports Tournaments. Yes. So best sports tournaments. That means there has to be brackets. Over to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the tweaking of the rules, Chris Yao, the Sundrop kid from Alabama.
No, I never tweaked the
bracket, Chris. There has to be a bracket.
I've never tweaked the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Never. What? Not me. I don't know what y'all talking.
I'll have to ask Chip his favorite sports tournament.
We should.
I bet he's got a couple.
We are back in action today in Marietta, Smyrna,
Cumberland.
I don't know where they are.
No. I asked Paul Newberry of the Associated Press, who covers the Braves on a regular basis, what dateline he uses, and he said Atlanta. So
it's metro area.
I mean, it's not Fulton County, but you know, I guess they take liberties with that.
Oh, sir. I would say that, you know, Franklin is metro is part of Metro Nashville.
I think Franklin would have an issue if you put a Nashville dateline on an event that took place in Franklin.
Yeah, they probably would. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting.
Well, at what point do you not go? It's called the Atlanta Braves. So wouldn't you just go with the team that is, the name of the city?
Well, here's what's funny, though.
Of course, you got some statewide things, so therefore the datelines don't necessarily work for that.
So looking at Wikipedia, Truist Park's address is 755 Battery Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia, but it says stadium in Cobb County, Georgia.
Well, parts of Cobb are part of Metro Atlanta. There are 4 counties that make up Metro Atlanta. There's Cobb, Fulton,
DeKalb.
No, North and South Fulton, or Forsyth. I think maybe is there a Forsyth in there? I think there may be 3.
Every time I hear Forsyth, all I can think about is driving Miss Daisy. Why didn't you turn on Forsyth Street? I've been going to the Piggly Wiggly since they opened, and I always turn on Forsyth Street. Yonder the Piggly Wiggly, Miss Daisy. That's my favorite part of the movie. She just made a random turn for no reason in her whole life. She'd been going to the Piggly Wiggly, could have just kept going straight. Instead, she turned on Forsyth Street.
All right,
this dude.
I've got again our official Wikipedia, whatever the official tourism website of the state of Georgia features a Metro Atlanta tourism region: Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, Cobb, Clayton, Douglas, Fayette, and Henry counties. Now that is the greater for the tourism. Let's see what the metropolitan does.
I don't know. I mean,
I just don't know that you can call all of that Atlanta, though.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of folks who live in Spring Hill that live in Nashville. So,
but they're not putting Nashville on an article.
No, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, if I go on a cruise and somebody asks me where I'm from, I'm saying Nashville because I don't know if they're from, Des Moines, Iowa, or if they're from Lynchburg, like somebody I ran into a few weeks ago.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was actually tagged in a post not too long ago on Facebook where someone said, where are you from? And the answer that was given in the post was, I'm from Franklin, Brentwood. And well, where is that? It's
right.
It's near Spring Hill and in that area.
Where is that?
I live in Nashville. Reba McEntire's my mother. Garth Brooks is my dad. Like, I live at Tootsie's.
It's easier to tell people you're from Nashville and then go out than it is to tell people you're from Franklin and make them know.
Oh, yeah, there's no question.
I've been fighting that battle for
just give that
time.
up.
Yeah.
Give that up.
I'm from Nashville.
I'm from Nashville. But yeah, it's interesting. Wherever they are, they're going to be playing a baseball game tonight against the Oakland Athletics, and Ronald Acuna Jr. will lead off and hit the leadoff spot playing right field. He'll be followed by Dansby Swanson at shortstop, Austin Riley at third base. The entire infield is hitting in a row. Dansby Swanson at shortstop, Riley at third, Olsen at first, batting cleanup. Ozzie will hit fifth at second base. And then you get Marcell Ozuna at DH and William Contreras at catcher. Duvall in left, Michael Harris the second in center field. And I hope Kyle Wright's on a stopper tonight. I hope he's a continuer.
Yeah. Let's not stop anything tonight, Kyle. Yeah, Braves 28-27.
Over 500.
Over 500 for the first time, right?
No.
Did they get over 500?
They were over 500 before.
Okay.
Like in the first 2 or 3 games. Yeah, I guess they
Okay.
they lost a bunch after that.
The Athletics, meanwhile, coming in at 20-36.
That doesn't seem good.
With all due respect to Mr. Hashtag Kempin ain't easy, let's hope that these next couple of games ain't easy for the Athletics.
Well done. Yeah, I mean, this is, again, we've said this so many times, so this is a chance for the Braves to take advantage. Hopefully they're able to do so. Oakland will probably be shell-shocked by the 5th largest crowds in Major League Baseball.
By actually seeing people in the stands? Yeah. What is this? How does this happen?
People come to y'all's games?
Right? Maybe that's what Matt's problem was early on.
He was
just
very
had to
confused.
get used to people in the stands.
That's what it was. He's very confused.
Oh, cool. This is a real. It does happen.
It does, in fact. Tell us what happened this day in Braves history, man.
Goodness. We've had some bad days in Braves history, just in terms of what the offerings were. I had 3 things to choose from today. This was what I went with, and I'm not sure it was the best pick. 2 hits were all they got, but 2 hits were all the Braves needed, as Alex Gonzalez's solo home run in the 4th inning was enough for a 1-0 victory over Brad Hand and the Marlins. This was June 7th, 2011. Hand was the hard luck loser working 6 innings in his MLB debut.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
With Tommy Hansen picking up the win.
Rest in peace.
Yes. For the Braves. There was also something about Brian Jordan throwing a kid out at first base from right field.
Hey, go BJ.
Yeah. So
go BJ. That's my BJ.
At 2SportsStar. Right? 2Sportsman. There we go.
2Sportsman, yeah.
On Twitter.
All right. We don't have 2 sports from Chip Walters, but he is a 2-sport man. He's got basketball and football, so
Chip's a multi-sport man.
That's right. He can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to him. Chip Walters coming back on the other side. I'm sure he'll have some thoughts on the College Football Hall of Fame and tell us about how Saturday went over at Dean A. Hayes Stadium. So
looking forward to it.
Come back with us on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Be back after this.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
That wasn't on purpose.
No, it was not on purpose.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street.
Yeah,
you never know who's going to stop by for a chat.
Surely he didn't just run the same spot back to back.
I was very confused.
I know things are.
I wasn't ready.
A little ragged around here, but
there it is. Well, you got to remember,
he's got a lot going on.
Well, he completely has shifted his focus, so it's weird. I can see JP now, and not to look through a monitor. It's interesting.
I can see Mo now, too.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm sorry.
You know who else we can see on video? Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us, as he does each and every Tuesday. Chip, what is going on, my friend?
Waiting for some more rain, I guess. You guys... some come through Columbia, in Columbia today.
Oh, we've not seen any yet.
It did
actually.
This morning it was raining pretty hard.
I wasn't here, so if I wasn't here, then I wasn't affected by it.
I had to come to the Dimple yesterday for a short visit and caught a little hailstorm on 840, but fortunately no dimples on my car after that. So that was a good thing.
Well done.
Nice. JP.
Yeah, I've got a different card in here, but what I can give him is an applause.
Okay.
I don't have the bell dings.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take that though.
Yeah. Chip, we talked yesterday about the National Football Foundation / College Football Hall of Fame ballot that went out for this year's class
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. And among the divisional athletes are 3 beloved Blue Raider players, former players, and a former coach. And I think Joe Campbell's been on this ballot for a while. And I imagine, given when he played, Don Griffin has been as well. I'm not sure about Steve McAdoo. But
I think he's been on there for a while. I think Joe Campbell nominates himself, but no. We.
Well done. I'm gonna tell you
if there's an opportunity to give Joe a hard time, we'll take it.
Well, you better take it because
he will dish it back out. Yeah,
without question. But he nominated himself during his career because he
sure did.
He led MTSU in rushing all 4 years of his career. He was a 3-time All-OVC selection, OVC Player of the Year as a junior, 2-time. So he was first-team All-American in 90 and 91. He was OVC Player of the Year in 90. I wonder who the Player of the Year was in 91. But at any rate, a stellar career for the Stratford High School graduate. And like you said, he's on here again, whether he nominated himself or what. But
you look at those, you look at those 3: Don Griffin, Steve McAdoo, and Joe Campbell, all members of the Blue Raider Hall of Fame already, and just outstanding football players. And Coach Bubba Murphy, he was so good for so long. There are 2 guys who have played football at Middle, have been the head coach at Middle and have been athletic director at Middle, and coached. And one of them is Bubba Murphy. The other is Boots Donnelly, and Boots is in the College Football Hall of Fame. And Coach Bubba Murphy, he certainly deserves. Obviously time is an enemy for him because of when his career fell, but all of those guys are very deserving. Don Griffin's got a handful of Super Bowl rings. Steve McAdoo, still coaching, had a great career in the Canadian Football League after playing at Middle, and Joe Campbell. Joe is Joe. I mean, he put on a show wherever he put a uniform on, whether it was in college or I think he played a little arena football for a while, and so Joe was one of those guys who was worth the price of admission himself just by the way he played. So it's a super honor when you think about as many players and coaches that are out there from across the country to be on that nomination list. And I really appreciate you bringing it up, because hopefully for folks who have the opportunity to vote, that they can, it brings a little more attention to those guys.
Absolutely. If you want to give yourself a treat, if you're an MTSU fan, go to YouTube and type in Joe Campbell, Florida State, because he scored a touchdown down in Tallahassee and gave them the tomahawk chop, and it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Worth it.
Yeah, you talk about it was, and that was, when you have great, you talk about great batteries in baseball, pitcher catcher duos. When you think about the years where Holcomb was the quarterback and Joe Campbell the running back, to go along with some pretty good receivers and a really good offensive line, that was a great combination when you had with Holcomb and Campbell together, and they won a lot of football games in a short amount of time.
They really did. And Joe tells a story, I don't know if he tells it publicly or just to his friends, but talks about going to the NFL Combine after he got done, and he's got on his MTSU gear, and somebody from Florida State recognized him and said, "Dude, you guys hit us harder than anybody we played. How did y'all not win a national championship?" So those were some great times for MTSU football, and like you said, Kelly Holcomb and Joe Campbell right out in front of all of that.
They were the marquee guys, and you will recognize this. They were able to stay in the buggy when the horse reared up, and they were outstanding, and both proud to say both are good friends of mine.
Well, yeah, we looked at that ballot and thought maybe we should get Chip's take, because he'll know. Of course, Mo knows because he was there about the same times.
Chip and I were there at about the same time. Chip got there a little bit before me, but we were there. So,
and the history of MTSU is rich athletically, but none richer than the track and field history. And so Saturday, as you emceed the memorial service for Dean Hayes at his stadium, how did that go? What was that like?
Well, first of all, it was such a high honor to be asked by his family to be the master of ceremonies for that event. But, I talked in my opening remarks, I talked about how Dean Hayes was a guy who could walk through his hometown almost anonymously, but was revered around the world, and was a celebrity around the world in the track and field world. But it was really, really good. I mean, first of all, we had perfect weather outside. Absolutely could not have been any better. You had just a ton of former track athletes came back, guys who ran for him in the 60s all the way, to Marty Scales and Christian Encia, all the way up through Dana Boone, who was the first ever paid assistant coach, all the way to John Ampoma, who was he was a great javelin thrower, and he was also the team captain of the Ghana national team in Rio. So I mean, it started with all of that. That you had several hundred former athletes that were there, and then you had the stands packed at Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium with so many friends and folks here locally as well. And the lineup of speakers included Tommy Haynes, who was one of Dean's very first All-Americans. Dana Boone, who I mentioned, she spoke. John Ampoma spoke, and they kind of represented three different eras of Dean's career. Then you had coaches. You had the two, Keith Vroman, who's the interim head coach and cross-country head coach, Raymond Bonner, who came to Middle as a football player from Franklin County and was part of the mod squad defensive backfield, but got into track, and since 2013 has been back as an assistant coach.
Ray B is back on. Ray B is back on campus.
Oh yeah, he's since 2013. He's been back 9 years, and been part of the track program. And you had, of course, Dr. Sidney McPhee had great remarks. Chris Massaro really. He had some of the best remarks I've ever heard him make at any public event, and he kind of put in perspective Dean's career from an award standpoint. That I forgot what the number was, but if you put them, if you put each award 1 meter apart, that it would have gone around the track more than twice. So over 800 awards in his career, Hall of Fames, all of that. Talked about championship. He kind of put all that into one, and then the two daughters, Erin and Kara Hayes, spoke, and they talked about different things. Erin talked about tagging along with Dad to track meets all around the world. Erin really focused her remarks on his love of animals and their family time and all of that. So it was it was funny. It started at 4:30 and we got done about 6:30. And I had so many people walk up and say, man, I looked at my watch when it was over. It sure didn't seem like 2 hours. That was great. So it was very fitting. I think there were a ton of laughs, but there were also tears because we miss Dean every day. It's not the same without him in that hallway up there in that office, but we've got memories, and for people to be able to come together and share all of those was something very special. And in addition to they had a reception afterwards, and in addition to the regular food line, they had one what was called Dean's Favorites, because as you know, Dean he ate to live. He did not live to eat. He didn't eat a lot of food, but he stowed stuff away, but he always had Twinkies, Heath bars, and Kool-Aid around. So they had a table where you could get Dean's favorites, and he called the Kool-Aid, he called it bug juice, but it was just super. And for anybody who wanted to go back and take a look at it, it's on the Blue Raider Athletics YouTube channel. And you can go back and pick out stuff that you might want to see. It was it really was the event that I think we all hoped it would be, to celebrate the life of just an incredible human.
Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, with us here on Main Street Sports today.
Let's ask him.
What are we asking him?
His top.
Oh. Chip, our next segment is Top 5 Tuesday, as it is every Tuesday, and this week's topic is Top 5 Tournaments, which is, any sporting event that involves a bracket. There must be a bracket involved for it to, by our standards, be a tournament. What's your favorite tournament? Not specific, just a
general tournament.
Yeah.
The World Series of Poker? No, but no. To me, I've got to go with the NCAA basketball tournament. I mean, it's to me is the ultimate bracket tournament. I think about, I remember when I was probably a teenager, and you may remember this. There was there was an article in Sports Illustrated that that talked about what was then called the bookstore basketball tournament at Notre Dame. It was, it was like one of the it was such a huge event on campus, and I don't know why that always stuck in my mind whenever I saw intramural tournaments and things like that. But it was just a 3-on-3 tournament that had the teams had crazy names, but that came to mind. But to me, it is hard to beat because it is a true bracketed tournament, and outside of the first or the initial round, the first four in Dayton, there's no buys, there's no coming back through the losers bracket. It's win or go home, and to me, that's the month of March and into early April is just super special because of that.
There you go. It's hard to argue.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Chip, we appreciate it as always, man. We look forward to talking to you next time, and good luck with the summer. I know it's always fun. So
it is, and one other thing, even as we speak here on June the 7th, Blue Raider athletics for the 21-22 school year will finally come to a close this weekend with 5 athletes in 7 different events at the NCAA Outdoors out in Eugene, Oregon.
Hopefully they'll get good weather for that. I don't know what the weather is like in June in Eugene. It's the Pacific Northwest. I would anticipate rain, but maybe not. So,
Eugene has hosted it an awful lot of times. So hopefully they'll get it all in.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we'll have something to talk to you about next Tuesday then.
There we go.
Well, I'm sorry. JP and I will have something to talk to you about next Tuesday. I guess I can't cast too many stones, but somebody's going to.
You were the first.
I'll be third as well, actually. But we'll talk about that later. Chip Walker is the voice of the Blue Raiders with us here on Main Street Sports Today. Chip, see you next Tuesday.
See you guys.
All right.
It is Top 5 Tuesday. It's coming your way right after this. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint after this.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TWSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Final segment of this Tuesday is Top 5 Tuesday, and it's brought to you by our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness. Mid-South 5 Fitness with two great locations, one in Columbia, the other in Franklin, making sure to take care of you and all of your fitness needs. Call Fallis Steel in the game, steelathletes.com. That's STEEL athletes.com, and follow them on Instagram at steelathletes. Here we go. We start with the top 5 tournaments, sports tournaments. If it's got a bracket, it's eligible. So, here we go. I will start. It's no longer a tournament, but when it started, and for a very long time it was, and I wish it still were, because the old UFC was awesome. Like, when you had to win 3 matches in one day to win or 4 matches in one day to win the UFC to be the ultimate fighter, that
a lot of fighting
was cool. Mm-hmm. And Hoist Gracie, none better, obviously, than the GOAT. But man, it would be cool to see some of those UFC guys nowadays have to go through what those guys went through in the beginning.
Can't imagine doing that in a tournament style. I mean, when you're participating, when the losing competitor is knocked out or taps out, and then you get to go do it again if you won. That's the ultimate survive and advance, right?
Yes, so it's 100%.
Literally, huh?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, me.
The crazy thing is that Hoist Gracie only fought for a little over 5 minutes in those 3 matches that he had to win.
Wow. Efficient.
No question there. So there you go. My number 5 is the old UFC. Mo?
My number 5. Does the college football playoff qualify as a tournament?
There's a bracket. Yep.
There we go. That's my number 5 then.
All right.
It's a terrible bracket. Should be more than 4 teams. But
Well,
hey,
as it stands, it is what it is.
It is. And
yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right.
JP, number 5.
We holding off honorable mentions till the end. Is that what we do? Okay. A little preface on how I selected mine and ranked them, actually, is based on...
Look, we're just glad you did select some and rank them. And you have more than 3.
Yeah. Well, considering I brought up the topic, I figured I should probably
participate. Yeah.
Good call.
I kind of went by the tournaments that I'm kind of most geeked out about, the ones that I enjoy.
Right. Well,
these aren't necessarily what I think the best tournaments in the world are. These are the ones that I enjoy.
Yeah, this is a favorite.
It's your top 5.
It's a favorite. Yeah.
All right. That's it.
He's already come up with an extra one.
An extra one on honorable mention. All right, number 5, Olympic hockey.
I've never seen an Olympic hockey.
I love Olympic hockey.
I mean,
Olympics something about it. I don't know.
He's different.
There's that.
No. It's cool. Hey, if we all like the same thing, it'd get pretty boring, right?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
What's your number 4?
The NCAA basketball tournament. March Madness.
At 4. Talk about being different. This guy.
After the first weekend, I'm much less interested.
Are you?
Because you see it's usually out.
Yeah, because Tennessee's gone.
Yeah. Well, MTSU is typically gone as well. So, but yeah, March Madness. That's my number 4 as well.
Number 4. Wow. Okay. All right. Number 4 for me, NCAA baseball, Road to Omaha. The first weekend of watching what they call now squeeze play, it's had different names, but where they go around and you see
the Red Zone channel.
Yeah, it's the Red Zone. Their Red Zone channel. I just think it's fascinating, especially this year. What we've seen, I don't think it's that dramatically different than any other year, but no lead is safe. It was, as we talked with Chris Lee earlier this week, and it's just fun to watch because with that aluminum bat, you're never out of it, right?
No question.
It's just been amazing. So that's my number 4.
That's your number 4.
All right. Number 3 is the Women's College World Series. I've said it so many times. It is a bucket list item. I love watching it because those. Well, I guess like the College World Series, it's the 2 double elim brackets, and then you got the championship series. So it's a lot of fun.
So the World Series itself in OKC. That's what you're saying, not
Women's
the whole
College
tournament.
World Series. Yes.
My number 4 and my number 3. My number 3 is also the Women's College World Series.
All right then.
That's
sorry.
Kind of nuts. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I mean,
didn't get your notes mixed up there, did you?
Yeah,
They have.
It's the one time of year that I really get to pay attention to college softball because it's really tough to find during the regular season, and it's the best of the best. And I'd love to go to Oklahoma City myself. I mean, the atmosphere out there just seems to be really.
Maybe
really
we just
fantastic.
next year we just
up and go.
We plan and do our show from Oklahoma City, baby.
There you go.
There we go.
Let's
I like
do it.
All right.
See if Marion can join us.
There you go.
I like it. All right.
Speaking of, now that there's time, and places that we should be doing our show from, we should look to see if Greg Sankey is available or Chuck Dunlap is available.
Yeah.
So anyway,
JP,
number 3.
Number 3, World Cup.
Ooh. See,
Soccer.
JP's
Soccer.
weird, so
He
he's
is.
different.
He is.
He's
It's
different.
all-
Yeah,
okay.
he's different.
It's only the world's most popular event.
It's okay. It's soccer.
Yeah, come on, man. Where's your country spirit, your team, your country pride?
All right, here we go. All right, number 2.
Don't bring cornhole at me.
Please don't be Mo's number 2. The NFL playoffs. I mean, you can't not love the Saturday, Sunday first round.
That is fun. It's a good weekend.
Is fantastic, and then of course, I mean, even if the Titans aren't in it, like I'm watching the NFL playoffs no matter what.
I think the first round in particular, that first
Specifically, it's
weekend,
really
hard weekend.
Yeah. It is not my number 2.
Ah, thank goodness.
No, my number 2 is the SEC baseball tournament.
Ooh, okay.
I mean,
for a week, it is.
If you get the chance to go to Hoover from start to finish, it's fantastic. If you get the chance to go to Hoover on Sunday for the championship, it's going to be fantastic. I mean,
and I did, and it was awesome.
Just look at this super regional.
I had to walk like 2 miles to get to the stadium.
Well, that's because you didn't have a pass.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Parking was tough.
Yeah, we are hardly the only ones that recognize the significance of the SEC baseball tournament.
There's a list places to broadcast. Check. That's on.
That's on there.
That's on there.
100%.
And that's
the problem is that it's always the same week as spring fling.
It's true.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that is the biggest issue with it.
All right. We're down to number 2, right?
Number 2. You're number 2.
Very few things excite me in the sporting world than a New Year's Day college football playoff.
There you go.
At a cabin somewhere in the mountains with a roaring fire, a hot grill with a big fat ribeye steak.
Well, you won't get it this year because stupid
It'll be on-
NFL.
Yeah, it'll be on
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah.
That's
Well,
unfortunate.
the college football playoff, though. And hopefully, as it expands, it will only get better.
To me, there is no better playoff period in any sport than the Stanley Cup playoffs. It doesn't matter what teams you're watching.
I think it's the hardest to win.
The physicality from start to finish, 7-game series in all of the rounds. You have to really be a good hockey team to win that thing, and it just goes. It's impossible to watch that and not be like, man, this is exhilarating. from start to finish, every game, the physicality, it's fantastic. I love it.
My number one is the College World Series. Had a chance to go back in '95, and definitely on my bucket list to go back again. And it's one of those deals where, like you said, it doesn't matter if you've actually got a dog in the hunt or not. Just
go.
Just go and watch the best baseball that level has to offer. And it's fun.
All right, my number one. I wanted to avoid the obvious, but I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
March Madness. The excitement building up to that first round, filling out the brackets. It's always around, St. Patrick's Day, which is a great holiday when it falls on Thursday like it did this year. It's just a fantastic event, and it's hard to get away from that as the best tournament, in my opinion. So,
my biggest honorable mention is kind of weird, just because it's not just one tournament. It's 6 tournaments this past year. But high school softball at Spring Fling, you've got 5 or 6 fields going at one time, and you hear the cheers from one field.
The action at the Sportsplex is
just everything and just any softball tournament can be exhilarating. But the way that Spring Fling, obviously, when you've got those complexes where there are several fields going, the energy in the place is fantastic. And here's the thing: is even when teams are losing and if they're eliminated, it's kind of like cross country where everybody's a fan of everybody kind of at some point. They're great job. They're always congratulating, always telling them what, because to be one of those teams to get to the Spring Fling is fantastic. So I love watching that stuff.
My honorable mention, and maybe it should have been on my top 5, I don't know, but high school wrestling tournament. And because you talk about that energy and you talk about that
very similar,
everybody rooting for everybody except for that 6 minutes that guys are going against each other. I mean, the wrestling community, the way they get behind each other and that kind of thing, it's fun.
And to put those mats on a stage, it's not a true stage, but they create it and present it like it is on a stage, and that's a pretty cool thing. I got to see that for the first time this year at the Ag Expo. Yeah. For me, a couple honorable mentions: Stanley Cup, yes; NFL playoffs, yes; Wimbledon. You mentioned that yesterday. I was surprised you didn't mention that today. But the one I wrote down as we got started: curling in the Olympics.
I like curling just because it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
The Australian Open in tennis, to me, is better because it's one of those events that if you stay up late enough, you can watch it. So sometimes I'll be up randomly at 1:30 in the morning, and boom, like an Australian Open match has just started because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon there. So it's just, but it is interesting, and it's one of those things that I kind of keep up with just because it's done at a unique time for us. So you kind of
certainly is.
You get weird updates from it at 6:40 in the morning. So anyway,
that's the intrigue to the British Open too. I think for me as a golf fan, although it's not a true tournament, but
super early, and you're like, oh okay, that's already happening. Heck, they're done for the day.
Right.
So, anyway,
are we gonna mention what you mentioned off air?
What's that? I guess we are, because I don't know what you're talking about. I forgot.
At Angels.
Oh,
on Twitter. The Angels have relieved Joe Madden of his duties as Angels manager today. Phil Nevin, former Detroit Tigers manager Phil Nevin, has been named interim manager. That's again tweeted by the Angels. Madden was 130 and 148 with no playoff appearances in 3 seasons with the team, and obviously was in the middle of his 4th season and will still not have a playoff appearance because he's gone. So, what are they? I knew they were bad. You said they lost their last 12?
Yes, 12 in a row.
As somebody pointed out here, hey, it's not Joe Madden's fault that he lost 12 games in a row, yelled at a reporter, and can't win with 2 of the best players to ever live. How do you lose 12 straight with Trout and Ohtani?
Ohtani got rocked in his last outing. So, I don't know. Who we got tomorrow?
Who do we have tomorrow?
You're
supposed to have
Heather Williams
and Wes Rucker.
That's right. We'll talk about Rockin' Hank.
Rockin'
Randall, baby.
You'll want to stay tuned.
Come back tomorrow.
Wes Rucker joins us at 3 o'clock tomorrow, and you will want to hear this segment.
We'll see you then. Have a great day.